Hi. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we are going to be talking about a new concept called facial proportion. And I want to talk about the word proportion because that's kind of our big word that we're going to talk about today. So proportion is the size of things compared to the things around them. For example, let's say that we looked at a painting and there was a really, really huge peanut and then a really teeny tiny elephant. Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't make sense. And that's okay. You don't have to use proportion, but proportion is the logical way that things go together. So realistic proportion would be we would have a really teeny tiny peanut and a really big elephant, right? What we're trying to learn today is realistic facial proportion. So we're comparing different things. We're going to start with the head, and the head is going to be kind of the basis for how we're going to build our facial features onto our head. So let's take a look at these two examples up here. The first one over here, this head is about the same size as this head, but when you look at it, it doesn't look quite right. We've got one eye that's too big and a nose that's really, really skinny and a mouth that's really small and like almost on the chin down here. So this face does not have correct facial proportions. It doesn't make sense, the facial features compared to the size of the head. This one over here is a little bit more realistic. Now, it's not perfect, but it follows certain rules about the human face. Everybody's face is different, but there's certain rules about the face that make sense for every single person's facial features. You wouldn't have eyeballs up on your forehead. You wouldn't have your mouth on your chin. Your eyes are not going to be ginormous. So what I'm going to teach you today are those rules about facial. So we're going to do just a practice today. It isn't going to be your final artwork. It isn't going to be anything fabulous. What we're going to do is just practice those rules of facial proportion and how everything fits on the face. So let me show you how to do that, okay? Okay, so in order to begin today, what we're going to do is we're going to start by drawing the head or the face, okay? And we are going to build upon that. We're going to draw some lines to help kind of guide us, to show us the size and where everything goes on the face after that. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start and we're going to begin to draw a portrait. You will need to make an upside down egg shape, okay? And this will be like your head. All right, and it doesn't have to be perfect. If you need to go back and erase it, if it doesn't look just the way you want it to, sometimes it's hard to draw a perfect oval or a perfect circle, but just kind of get it down so it looks kind of like an egg, okay, but upside down. Now this narrow part here, this will later become the chin. Then what you're going to do is you're going to draw a line vertically right through the center of the egg. And it doesn't have to be, again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but we're lightly going to draw this line to kind of show us some symmetry. Symmetry is how things are the same on the both sides, like your face. This will help us to make things equal on both sides. Then I want you to draw a line halfway down the egg, and this will help with the eyes and ears. So I'm going to kind of find like where halfway is, and I'm going to draw a line lightly across halfway, okay? And this will help to kind of guide where our eyes go and where our ears begin. Then what I want you to do is I want you halfway between the eye line and the chin, I want you to make another horizontal line, and this will help guide where the nose is. So between this space right here, you're going to divide that in half, okay? Something about right there, all right? And then the last line for our guideline, 1/3 of the way down from the nose, that line right here, you are going to draw another horizontal line. So think about this if this was divided in three. 1, 2, 3. 1/3 of the way down, okay, not half, a little bit higher than half, you're going to draw another line. And this will help so where you're going to put your mouth, okay? And that line is going to help kind of guide where your mouth is going to go. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So these are all the lines that we're going to have on our face. And these don't need to be really dark lines. We're just going to kind of draw those lightly because if we draw them too dark, we're going to have all these weird lines on our face. So what we're going to do next is we are going to do the eyes. And before we start with the eyes are going to go on this line right here. And the corners of your eyes, I'm going to draw over to the side. So like your eye is kind of this shape, okay? the corners of your eyes, this part of your eyes is gonna go on this line, but we need to kind of figure out how big we need to make it. We don't want it too big and we don't want it too small. So there's kind of a rule. 5 of your eyes should fit all the way across your face, okay? So I'm gonna start, and I know this sounds really weird, but I'm gonna draw an eye kind of in the middle. I'm gonna draw another eye right about here. This is so goofy looking, isn't it? 5 eyes. One more here, and one more here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So your eyes should be between those 3 other eyes. So I'm gonna go ahead and darken this up. My eyes should be about this big and along this line. The points are along the line. Now all the rest of those eyes, that's so silly, we don't need those. But it kind of gives us an idea. If we can draw 5 of them that are all about the same size, then we know that our eyes are the correct size and in the correct place on that line on our face, okay? And eyes have the iris, that's the color part of your eye, like mine are green, okay? And then you've got the pupil in the middle, that's the black part in the middle. And then around that, we've got like our eyelids, and we've got eyelashes that kind of curve out from the nose. If the nose is here, they kind of curve out from the nose, okay? So I'm gonna add some of those details for my eyes. The next part is the nose, okay? Now noses are so funny because really noses, a lot of noses are just created out of shadow and kind of that bone underneath our skin. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw where the nostrils are gonna be. That's kind of that bottom part of the nose. So like, let's say this is your nose shape, the nostrils, this right here, your line is gonna be right underneath that. So over here, I'm gonna draw the shape of my nose, and some noses are wider, some are skinnier. It's okay, I just want you to get used to first just drawing kind of where the nose is gonna be. The nostrils are gonna be along that line. And then this part right here, some of them, I mean, they look different. Everybody's nose is different, but some of them are wider, some of them are skinnier. But there's a nose, okay? This line right here is where our mouth is gonna be. And what we're gonna do on this line is we're going to draw the top and bottom lip. And the width, that's not the right word, the length, how far across or how wide your lips are, kind of have to do with your eyes. So really lightly from the eyeballs, I want you to draw a line down to that bottom line, okay? And that's how wide your mouth should be. It might be a little smaller, but that's a good idea to kind of see how wide your mouth needs to be. So I'm gonna draw lips, the top lip over the top of that line, and the bottom lip on the bottom of that line, and then that line in the middle, okay? Kind of darken that up, okay? And that is gonna be my lips. Now it's not perfect, but this is a better idea of what a face needs to look like. We do need eyebrows, okay? So eyebrows kind of come up from the points of the eyes. It's kind of where they start. And they're made of lots of little lines and they curve around. So I want you to try this at home. You're making this face, okay? Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter. Some of us pluck our eyebrows. Those girls sometimes, or those ladies pluck our eyebrows. Hopefully we're not doing too much of that yet. And then we've got to put our ears on there. Your ears, now some ears are like really big and come out really far. Some ears are smaller, but all ears are gonna start where we start our pencil. We're gonna start right here on this line. We're gonna go all the way across and we're gonna start our ears and come down. Okay, so up on that line, this line right here, up and then down, okay? And then we've got just some, you can add some detail in there. Ears are really hard to draw, so I'm not gonna draw too much detail here, but we can tell those are ears. This is what I want you to do today. We're not gonna add any hair, we're not gonna add anything else, shoulders. We are just practicing facial proportions, because eventually what we're going to do is we are going to make a self-portrait, which is a picture of ourselves, but we have to get correct proportion. So we're going to start with this today. You're going to follow all of these steps. You're going to draw it to the best of your ability. If you make a mistake, which I didn't show you, but if you make a mistake and something's too big or too small or in the wrong place, just use an eraser, erase it, try it again until you've got it just right. This is based on putting things in the right place. So there is a right and wrong way to do this. I'm not always super picky on things, but on this I'm going to be a little picky. You need to make sure to follow all the steps. You're going to draw out your guidelines lightly to help put things in the right place. And when you're done, you're going to take a picture and you're going to send it to me, okay? I know this is hard work, but you guys did an awesome job today, okay? Bye.